We are living in a sin-stained world with um, souls that have the effects of sin showing, quite clearly on a daily basis. And so, when we get into a place like Ephesians chapter 5, and it's talking about living in a sin-stained world, and it tells us in verses 3 to 5, sexual immorality and impurity and covetousness must not be named among you as is proper, and don't let there be filthiness or foolish talk or crude joking. They're out of place, but let there be thanksgiving, the thankful heart that is grateful to God for every good and perfect gift. And then it says you should be sure of this. You may be sure that everyone who is sexually immoral or impure or is covetous, that is an idolater, one who serves an idol, has no inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and God. And these are strong words, but these are truth. And the idea is that if your whole pattern of life is identified anti-Christ, that you are not with Christ. And it says in verse 6, and we're going to be looking at verses 6 and 7 this Sunday, let no one deceive you with empty words, for because of these things, the wrath of God comes upon the sons of disobedience. The idea is that, if someone gives you empty words like, oh, these things aren't that bad, and just don't worry about it, let's just overlook it. No, because of these things, the wrath of God is coming. And it says in verse 7, therefore do not associate with them. And so it's telling you to do something very uncomfortable. Break off relationship with people that have a pattern of life that is anti-Christ. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't preach the gospel to them, but it's the idea of not associating with them as friends. And it even says in verse 8, for at one time you were darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Like that was your identity, but you have a new identity. And that doesn't mean, by the way, that Christians need to go hunker down in a bunker somewhere and totally, isolate from the world. No, no, no. It means that you shouldn't assimilate fully into the world. What it means is you should integrate and really be how can I put it, a redemptive interactor, okay? Redemptively integrate yourself into things, meaning with a gospel focus, with a gospel clarity even, because you are a light for Christ. And that is who you are, dear Christian. You are not identified by your old life, even though sometimes it feels like it still clings on you. As Hebrews says, lay aside every weight and the sin that so easily entangles us and run with endurance the race set before us, looking to Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith. That's where we need to focus. That's where we need to be. There is no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus, but there is this careful living that you and I are to engage in.